Hello, welcome back. Well, we know it's been a while, and we know I'm bad at intros. So today we are going to be dip dyeing this awesome jacket. Hopefully it turns out well. We'll see how the dyes react to the fabric because some of these are not suitable for polyester and some of these are. I found that out like 2 seconds ago, so we're gonna see how it goes. Let's get into it. It is time for me to fail so that you don't have to. Just a little FYI. First, I'm starting off with the dip dye method where you take whatever fabric it is that you're going to dye, dip it in the first color, take it out a little bit, add the second color, take it out a little bit more, add the third color, so on and so forth until you get this nice blended look. Now I'm starting off at about the halfway point on the jacket. My first color is yellow. I'm just trying to get it as saturated as possible, and then I'm gonna let it sit for 30 minutes. After that, I'm transferring the jacket to an empty bowl while I add the red. Then I'm dipping the jacket back in, leaving a little bit of space for the yellow, and then letting the red sit for 30 minutes. After this, I add the purple dye and just continue on, let that sit for a little bit longer, and then once that is done, I transfer it again, and I start with the blue dye. I ended up pouring the hot water in and trying to get the salt and the dye to dissolve as much as possible before I added the jacket in. And then as I'm moving the jacket around, I noticed that some purple spots are forming in the red. And I have to show you because I don't think you'll believe it, but all of the color from the previous dyes have wicked up the entire jacket, and it's ruined. I mean, at first I think, okay, maybe I'm gonna bleach the bottom half of it and it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Well, I'm here to tell you right now that it wasn't fine, and this is what I ended up with, a nice purple mess. And yeah, it just looks bad. So to fix it, I end up bleaching it for about 20 minutes. I just let it sit in a bleach bath, and then I washed it out, and then let it soak in this ash soda, which is supposed to help the fabric take on dyes better. And then I'm trying a second method, which is just a regular old tie-dye kit. That's all, nothing more. Except I'm adding a couple more colors: yellow, orange, red, purple, light blue, and then dark blue. And I'm just going in with each color, trying to get into every crack and crevice to make sure that everything is soaked. And as you can see, there are times where I find a spot that I didn't find on a previous color, and so I go back up through to make sure I got it all. So after the purple, I'm adding this super light blue, and I just want to mention that this is such a pretty color. Like, so pretty. I like the way that the blue blends with the purple, and then later on the light blue blending in with the dark blue. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyways, it blends really well, and I just wanted to mention it because doesn't that look really nice? Now after this is all done, I'm cleaning up my workspace, and I'm adding a mixture of water and bleach to the white part because it's not as white as I want it to be, and so I'm hoping that this will lighten it up a little bit as the other dyes are processing. Then I'm just putting saran wrap over it because you're supposed to, and then you're supposed to let it sit for about 8 hours to process. So this is right before I go to work. I'm just making sure it's as covered as humanly possible, doing 2 to 3 to 4 layers. It's ridiculous, let's admit. But after this, I let it sit for about 8.5, 9 hours, and this is how it turned out. I am so happy. I'm so excited. It looks amazing. And then I go to rinse it out. You know when you have a plan and that plan doesn't quite go to plan? Well, you saw the last clip. Beautiful, right? Well, after rinsing it out, and putting it through the wash, this is what I ended up with. I was so excited. It took 8 hours for that to just like supposedly process, and I thought it was gonna work. I was like, oh my gosh, it looks so good. I did so good. It's gonna look great. And then I went to rinse it out, and all the color just drained from it, and then all the color drained from my face. So instead of trying to buy more dye and just try this again and fail, I got these these Color Shot aerosol cans, and I got blue, purple, red, and yellow, and I'm just gonna like blend it all together, start from the bottom, go to the top, and fingers crossed that it actually works this time. So this is the make it or break it. This is 3rd time's the charm. If this doesn't work out, then the jacket's just ruined. I don't know what to do with it at that point. Throw it away, burn it in a fire. It's just not gonna happen if this doesn't work. So I'm starting off with the blue, and then I'm adding the purple, and then the red, and then the yellow. And I'm not worrying about blending on the first go round. I just want to make sure all the colors are there, and then I'm going to go back through and add the red and add the yellow, just so that everything is blended, but also the colors show where they need to be, so that like the red isn't just completely covered by the yellow, or the purple isn't completely covered by the red. And then I go and I let it dry for about 20 minutes. Why? Because on the bottle it says to do 1 coat at a time and let it dry for 5 minutes. I don't have the patience for that. So I'm just making the jacket look the way I want it to, and then letting it dry until it's dry to the touch. So I've now moved on to the back of the jacket, and the only thing that has changed from doing the front is that I'm now turning it onto the edges just to make sure I get those, because they're not necessarily on the front and they're not necessarily on the back. I just want to make sure that it's completely coated so that it doesn't look weird. And then after that, I'm just going back through and I'm blending it like I did on the front. And then I have to let it dry for 20 minutes. Now, I can't just say, that's the end, this is how the jacket looks, without actually putting it through the wash like I did the others. So what you're about to see is what the jacket looks like after going through the wash at least 1 time. There's a couple spots that I need to fix, but overall, it looks way better than the other 2 attempts. So if you have any suggestions on what you want to see me do next, let me know. If you know what the weird light scrolling thing is, also let me know, because I have no clue. And until then, I'll see you next time.